move. Yeah.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining you today from my favorite department, Public Works, Andrew McFadden. Andrew, how you doing?
Hey, Jeremy, I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's been a while, and it's not a love lost thing. We have busy lives and busy schedules going on, but construction still kept moving forward. And this update is got a lot of good news to it, and we're getting ready to make a move on the second half of this year's project for Fitchburg Road, and so many other great things going on. So, Andrew, first and foremost, just reflecting the last couple of weeks, what's been going on Fitchburg Road to where we are today?
Yeah, so you probably saw some final grading going on out there, all the curb and gutter that got put in. It's looking like a real road, and the last step would just be that paving. There were a few cracked stormwater pipes, so we had to get back in there and kind of replace those. That's what we were doing kind of late last week and this week. But right now we're looking at starting paving this afternoon, and that going through next week on the kind of stretch of roadway that's opened up right now. So that will really look like a new road by the end of next week when we make the switch on or near June 28th. So we can have next week to button everything up on the northbound lanes and get those ready to go. And then we'll make the switch the following week. And we'll certainly be talking next week a little bit more about some of the implications to some of those intersections on the west side as we start working through the construction of the southbound lanes. So.
Yeah, certainly going to be as described. We were kind of talking a little bit about before, but there's just more. I don't want to use challenges, but just the way the intersections happen to be on the other side, it's going to be a little bit different for school closures, temporary closures, all of that. And Andrew, like you said, we'll spend a lot more time next week going by every intersection and kind of talking through that, and then we'll keep updating. Right, it's a fluid, constant moving project, so we'll try to update people as those closures happen. As far as the project goes on the other side, besides what you see from the current side being done, what does that side look like as far as the project goes? Break it down from what they start to getting to where they are today.
You mean on the northbound lanes
Yes.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I mean, certainly the stormwater work, grinding up all that concrete that was out there to begin with, and then using that as base, to kind of rip the base that was there before out, put that in, and then we kind of built the road back up. So, there's a lot of stuff that goes on underneath. Certainly a lot of utility work, moving the utilities on that east side, getting those out of the way, removing those conflicts, and then. I think, as I mentioned, the latest stuff was getting that concrete work done, the curb and gutter, the sidewalk on the east side. We'll get the lights up, later this week, early next week. And so kind of building that road back up, and then we'll do all that same stuff on the west side. And so I think, you'll get to see it, if you miss something on the northbound lanes, you'll get to see it again on the southbound lanes. And so, yeah, definitely happy to talk through. We'll have one more chance to kind of get in the weeds of some of this construction work if you're interested as we go through the other half of the road.
Yeah, I want to see you out there with a hammer and chisel helping tear down that road as they work on the westbound side and get that cleaned up. No, just kidding, Andrew.
Yeah, I think they might have more efficient tools for that, but
Well, no, well, I don't want it to be easy. I mean, come on, I'd be out there with you. We'll both we'll have our little square that we can see if we can do that, but
yeah,
be more in the way than anything else.
A little bit helps,
right? Yeah, like I said, we'll go through again the closure specifically for the different intersections as it moves through on that side. So it'll be a little bit different than what northbound side is, but yeah, it looks great, Andrew, and glad to have that update. Let's move on to other projects. Tell us in the East Sherrill Parkway what's going on in that area.
Sure, yeah. So we repaved East Sherrill yesterday. Crews were out there from about 7 to 6. We got the left turn there at Fish Hatchery and East Sherrill open back up. So now, I mean, really everything's open to traffic. We will be restriping next Monday, so we might have some temporary no parking up there, but for the most part, we're going to be removing, a good chunk of the no parks out there. So, most of the operations can kind of return back to normal as we start to wrap that project up. So yeah, it's a nice new street. It's always satisfying to drive on that when they're new and fresh. So urge folks to get out there to farmers market tonight and check it out.
I was just gonna say it's like perfect day with Strawberry Fest at the farmers market, and then the rest of the summer. I mean, it's always fun to be on a new road. So hey, two new roads to drive on here. One coming up, and the other one open now. So
Mhm.
I've got to be happy about that. Any other projects, Andrew, to update us on otherwise in the city?
We do have the US 14 bridge work that's going on up at McCoy. So they are closing that at night. You can still see it, it's opened up. So that I think that will still be ongoing. I believe they said 2 weeks initially, and so I think we're maybe halfway through that, but I can follow back up with Wistat folks on that. But yeah, definitely some night closures there. I know the railroad's doing some work on their ties in that area, but they're not going to touch the crossing yet. That'll come later this summer. We're certainly working a lot on West Clayton. We got that all ripped up and doing some undercut there, rebuilding that road back up. So those are kind of the big ones. And I, yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's it.
what you're like, wait, I got to think through all the projects like I've got
Making
going on and
sure,
make
yeah,
sure which ones are
I
nope,
can't think of
I believe you got them all there, at least as it is. You've got your chip sealing and those other projects are going on, and so you can watch for those in your neighborhood, so to speak. But otherwise, if people do want to find out more information on the construction update, at least for Fish Hatchery Road, Andrew, where can they find that?
Yeah, certainly on our website, the Fish Hatchery Road project website. Um, just again, look for Fish Hatchery Road Recon. It's the construction page, in parentheses. So it's also a design page. So, look out for that. But yep, we have all the weekly updates on there, and you can kind of work through that and see all the progress we've made so far. So
All right. Perfect. Well, we got it in the books for this week. We'll definitely have you next Thursday for an update. And like I said, we'll go through all those specific intersections on the westbound side. And we'll keep people alert on that traffic switch coming up at the end of the month.
awesome. Sounds good. Thanks, Jeremy. Thanks for having
Yeah.
me.
Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate the time. We'll take a quick break. More to come. You are watching Talking Pittsburgh.